everybody, welcome to Mike's Beer Blog. And today I have one goal. My challenge is this gentleman here is not the biggest fan of beer. I gotta fix that. I've gathered from all four corners of the planet. I say that even though two of these exist in the same country, and that's from the US, like an hour away or something. Regardless, I'm going to try to introduce this man to some beers that I'm very proud of, that have gone, in some cases, grown throughout history and become phenoms of the planet. And I want to show him the right way to drink them, and hopefully y'all can appreciate it.
Yeah, you'll probably know my wife from a previous episode. Sarah, his bartender. Despite her years of experience, I have yet to learn a single fucking thing about beer. So this is all pretty new to me.
Well, we're going to learn you today. I ain't going to teach you nothing, I'm going to learn you something. To start off today, we've got a Fruit Lambic. And unlike some previous mistakes, I have already brought the vibrator. Let's see what other mistakes I make with the vibrator.
Now, when I say I don't know anything, what the hell is a Lambic?
So a Lambic uses Brettanomyces rather than Saccharomyces in order to get the fermentation done. I should probably take the bottle cap off this, huh?
I know some of these words.
Brettanomyces and Saccharomyces?
Oh no, ferment.
Oh, shit. I need a bottle opener. Cut! Appreciate you, Jesus. My imaginary friend is always here for me. Be hilarious if he brought me a bad bottle opener. One that doesn't work. Alright. Now we get your vibrator. You familiar with that sound? I know I am. Beautiful. Now we're done with the vibrator for right now. So Fruit Lambic, it uses a different kind of yeast. Yeast is a fungi that the fungi consumes the sugars in the grain or the fruit or whatever, and it shits out the alcohol, the circle of life. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is a strawberry Fruit Lambic. So when you pour, you always want to pour down on the side. And if you're not getting a good foam top, you want to pull away so you can get some good carbonation going.
See, I'm not used to seeing beer that doesn't look like piss. So
You're already
even the color is new to me for this.
a bit of a treat. I'm going to actually give you the tall one. Alright, so what you want to do, regardless of the beer, you can already smell this now that it's in the glass, I'm assuming. I know I can.
Yeah.
So depending on the beer, particularly with IPAs or things that are like real strong fruit sours, if you go in for a deep nose, like I normally do, you're going to overwhelm your senses. Because if it's a not really strong IPA with a high hop content added, all you're going to get is that brutal hopness on your nose. So a lot of times you want to get it around towards the chin.
Alright.
Get your smelling notes. So you can already get the strawberries. I'm getting some citrus. In particular, I'm getting some orange on there. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
So we got the, probably because strawberries are kind of tart. So maybe we're detecting the vitamin C kind of thing.
See, I definitely get the strawberries and a little bit of citrus on that.
Mm-hmm. This is great. So after we do that, nothing wrong with swirling the beer around the glass.
Right.
If you coat the sides of the beer with the glass, obviously that's going to give more room for it to go up.
Okay.
And let's go for it deep. So now you're getting way more into it, because this is not an overwhelming hoppy IPA or something like that. You can get a lot on this nose. Like I'm getting candy on this nose. Why don't you tell me your smelling notes and I'll give you mine.
First, define smelling notes.
Just tell me what it reminds you of. Because it's going to fire synapses in your brain, and that's going to be what you're smelling.
Those horrible little candies you'd see your grandmother used to have.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. And that really shitty foil.
Exactly.
Yeah. It reminds you of that, doesn't it?
It does.
But they tasted really good, didn't they? If she got the name brand ones, but she always
Yeah.
got like the Berkshire Brothers ones. So I'm getting a lot of strawberry on the nose. I would say I'm getting some actual strawberry fruit, but as well as some strawberry candy. That orange is still coming through. You know what that orange smell reminds me of? You
What's
know
that?
those like dried orange candies with the like little sugar on them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're called orange slices or something like that. It reminds me of that.
That's it.
Yeah, this is a very inviting fruit lambic. So give it a little more twirl.
All right.
Nothing wrong with showing it some love. And now let's get our first pull. Now what you do when you pull is, like with wine, you want to slosh around. Don't do that. That's not necessary because of the carbonation. You're still going to get a pretty broad mouthfeel. Just get enough to coat your entire tongue, give it a second, and then swallow. And then think about what you were tasting, what you've been tasting, what you're getting now.
Okay.
Because you're going to keep getting those tasting notes after you swallow. Because guess what? Most of your tasting notes, they don't come from your tongue. They come from your nose.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get a pull. This one's to you. Oh man, that's fantastic. That's better.
Wow.
That's better than the raspberry.
So far, I can tell you that is one of the best beers I've ever had. It doesn't taste
It doesn't taste like
what
Bud Light.
what you would normally think of as a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely getting strawberry in that.
And it's not an overly tart strawberry
No.
either.
It's sweet. It is sweet like candy.
But it's not overly sweet either. Like it's not, because there's some like lemon shandies and things like that they're just clawingly sweet. Like you get overwhelming fruit notes on them.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into like the cheap malt liquors and nonsense like that. That's when. But we don't need to talk about that. That's for a future episode because I know everybody wants to see it. Where Mike drinks seltzers. But what do you think about this one, bro?
I really like it, man.
So if I bought this and I left it in your house and one day you were like, man, I like an alcoholic beverage.
It probably wouldn't last a day that you brought it over.
I think so.
True.
So would you say I've already done a good job converting you?
Pretty good. Like I said, that's one of the best beers I've ever had.
That's fantastic, bro. All right. I want to get some fresh glasses. So we're going to take a quick cut.
All right.
Cleanse our palates because this beer is going to be nothing like this beer. And this beer is going to be nothing like either of these beers. So I want to make sure we got fresh, clean glassware and fresh palates because this is going to be a little bit more of the next level. And this is going to be the next level from that. So this is a very simple tasting note. This is something that you can convert a wine drinker or anyone who drinks juice, basically, you can convert with this. Fruit lambics, they're fantastic. This is going to be a little bit more complicated.
No.
This is going to be more complicated than that.
Okay.
But with that being said, spirits up. All right, everybody, we're back. And we're going to go to the next level. I've already converted him a bit. I want to see how far I can get him into the rabbit hole. That's not a sexual reference. Or is
about
it?
to let you into my rabbit hole.
I inserted a little bit of chloroform in one of these beers. So this one is going to be the Franziskaner Weissbier. I'm probably fucking that up horribly, but that's what we're going to go with.
And where's this one from?
What was it, Belgium? Nortrub Premium Hefe Weissbier.
From Munich since
Munich,
1363.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be safe to assume that right before Hitler and Miss Braun, they were probably sipping on that.
I mean, why not? I mean, what if you're about to kill yourself? What else are you gonna do? Like,
And I've watched that's how I doubt.
well, this video is not monetized. So once again, you can look at the pour. And another thing you can pay attention to during the pouring process, it may be difficult from your angle, but there should still be a bit of the yeast strain at the very bottom. And when you're pouring, if you want pouring like professionally, you want to keep an eye on the neck of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And also something I'm bad about is I'll forget and I'll turn the bottle back the way upright. You're not. You're supposed to hold it like this. because every time you agitate the bottle, you're changing the beer that you're having from what I'm having, because we're sharing it in a certain glass. So I'm going to give you a little bit more, and let's see if we can, yeah, you can kind of note the yeast strains just a little bit in there, and you want to stop and stir that, and then pour it over the top.
See, now there's that nice warm piss color I'm used to.
It's still not quite the same urine color that you would get from Bud Light and Budweiser, so...
Yeah, it's a little more golden.
And you can see the murkiness, so because I poured the yeast strain, you probably got some too because I gave you a good bit more. Because I poured the yeast strain, you can see that it's got that real murkiness to it. But can you see that whitish hue on the end of it?
I can.
So the term Weiss is white, and Weize is wheat. Okay. So you can say Hefe Weiz Bier is Hefe, yeast, white, wheat, basically, and beer is beer. So learning a little bit of German is a good way to kind of appreciate it. So let's get a little stir action going. Okay. You can look at the foam top. You can get an idea of the bubble separation on there. It gives you an idea that this is beer made with care. I brought this up in a recent episode. I don't want to go too deep into it. Once again, spin it, get those fucking oxidizers working. And now we'll go ahead and get our first pull, about the chin. So you can already get some of those granule wheat notes. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of cereals in there. I can already smell some clove. I'm not getting any nutmeg. What are you getting?
Honestly, beer.
Beer?
It smells like beer.
Smells like beer. So let's go ahead and go in for a deeper pull. Get your nose in there. Alright, so I'm going to let you give your nose.
The wheat and clove.
You're actually getting it now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting anything else? It happens.
Beer in my nose.
Gotta really get it in there.
Now, yeah.
I'm getting some banana bread on there. Are you able to get that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yep. So, fun fact, the ester for banana tasting is, see if I remember, isoanyl acetate. Isoanyl acetate. And yes, I remember that because of the word anal and ass. So let's get our pull on. Spirits up. That's nice. What are you getting?
It tastes a lot like other beers I've had. It's not as strong as what I'm used to. It's smooth. But honestly, I'm still so inexperienced I couldn't really tell what every individual flavor in it was.
So let me get you into another technique. I can't remember the actual terminology of it off the top of my head. I've been drinking. But basically, so we're going to get our pull, we're going to coat the tongue, we're going to swallow, and then we're going to exhale out of our nose.
Exhale out of the nose, okay.
So let's go ahead and try that one more time. Here's to you. Now what are you getting?
Still, with me, it's beer. It's not a bad beer. Mm-hmm. It's just, to me, it's beer.
Mm-hmm. I'm still getting the clove. I'm getting the banana. It reminds me a lot of banana nut bread. They do something with the esters to release it, and it gives you those fruity taste to it. But if you're not experienced in decoding smells and tastes like that, then...
See, with me, I don't really feel like I'm getting fruit with it, but maybe more a nut with it instead.
You can get kind of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting the spices on the tongue at all?
I am. But being inexperienced, I couldn't pinpoint what those spices are.
It's probably reminiscent of clove and nutmeg. So if you went home and you got a little pinch of nutmeg on your tongue, you'd be like, oh, okay.
I've definitely got the clove. Mm-hmm. Nutmeg, not so much, which
Cloves is
I
very
personally
strong,
am thankful for because I fucking hate nutmeg.
So maybe this wasn't quite the beer for you.
Yeah. It's not a bad beer. It's more reminiscent of other beers I've had. It's got that, yeasty taste.
Yeah. Well, it obviously does. Like I said, the yeast is still inside it. It doesn't undergo the bottling process. It is filtered in some way, for sure, but it's still meant to be poured with the yeast over it. But that's all fine and good. Let's set this to the side. We got 2 fresh glasses. This one is not overwhelming to the palate. I felt like the Lambic was with the sweetness and the sourness. So I feel like it's fine to transmit.
So what is this one?
This is the Puppy Chow. As you guys can see, this particular beer is going to be, I never heard it called Puppy Chow, but basically the Chex Mix with the chocolate and powdered sugar. I don't know if you Yankees get that kind of stuff, but it's all over the place in the South.
I had Puppy Chow in school. Never once did my parents make it for me, buy it for me, anything. It's always some random girl brought it in the class.
Yeah.
And like, what is Puppy Chow? I'm like, the fuck you eating?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And then you get it.
Do we need to call somebody?
Good. But I am excited about this one. Well, what did you say? What type of beer did you say this was again?
So this is going to be, and it actually gives you a lot of the information on the can. I'll read it real quick. Puppy Chow, stout with powdered sugar, chocolate, peanut butter, and Chex. This is at 8% ABV.
Well, I feel a stout's pretty appropriate, because we're both pretty stout guys.
This is true.
You could say we're a little lager than life.
Lager.
No 6-pack here.
Lager than life. Moving on. So, nothing wrong with a little bit of a heavy pour. Get us a nice foam top on there. You can see these absolutely gorgeous fucking coffee looking.
I was about to say, it reminds me of coffee.
Looks a lot like an espresso, doesn't it?
It does.
Get that water out of there. Don't nobody need no water in our lives. We got this beautiful fucking beer. Yeah. And once again, you can get an idea. This is obviously a beer made with care. You can see the bubble distribution. You got a nice Rocky Mountain kind of thing going on here. Very pretty. And something that's very common, you notice with the other 2 beers, the head kind of dissipated a little bit real quick. These, because they're heavier, this might very well stay for as long as we're drinking it, especially considering we're drinking so little in such a small drinking vessel. And I'm agitating it, and it's staying.
Yeah.
And you can get a look at it. It's always better to look towards the light. You can actually indicate some things about it. So I'm not seeing any red hue to this. And that's the reason I bring that up, is it's common to use caramelized malts.
Yeah.
And caramelized malts in a stout is visually noticed by a red hue to the beer.
Okay. So, yeah, like you said, there's no red. So what did they use in this?
There's with certain beers you can cook the malts to a certain temperature, and basically the harder you cook them, it's the same kind of thing where you do with toast.
Yeah.
It's going to indicate how it's going to taste. It's going to indicate how it's going to look. It's going to indicate the flavor profile. And what you're doing is you're cooking the sugars out of it so that the yeast can come in and eat those sugars.
All right. So if we're going with the toast analogy, since it's a little bit darker, it's probably cooked a little longer, or
more than likely. Yep.
Okay.
Either that or at a higher temperature.
All right.
But there are so many different techniques. I'm not a cicerone. I don't brew beer. So, you ready to get the nose on this? Let's get it. Ooh, yeah. Just by the chin, you get that.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're getting first.
You're definitely getting chocolate and the peanut butter on there.
That's what I was gonna say. It's overwhelmingly peanut butter.
Like a Reese's.
Yeah, straight up. Let's get in a deep nose. More of the peanut butter, more of the Reese's. Yeah, for sure. Not getting much of the powdered sugar on there. And last time I think I reviewed this for TikTok or something, and I said the same thing. Like, I'm not really getting a lot of the powdered sugar, but yeah, the chocolate and the peanut butter are just overwhelming. So, you excited to taste this one?
I am.
Do you think you're gonna like it?
Just by the the scent alone, I think I will.
All right, let's get a pull.
All
Here's
right.
to you.
Pretty good. Definitely chocolate. Maybe just get a little bit of the peanut butter, not a whole lot.
Hold on, pay attention. Think about it right now. It's on the aftertaste.
You're right. You're right.
The peanut butter comes in through the tail end of the beer. And that's what's really important because, like I said, once it's gone down your throat, you're not done tasting it. There are beers like I've shown with the Chimay that just it dances on your palate, like you're getting more stuff.
Now, are you getting powdered sugar? Because I'm not.
The powdered sugar is at the very tail end, and it's very muted compared to everything else. I'm not sure where they get the powdered sugar notes. I don't know how they brew it. I don't know any of that stuff. This is some kind of Fort Worth brewery. Maybe one day we'll have an excursion at Fort Worth and we'll learn about it. Once I set up a Patreon, I'll have a little Patreon link for y'all. You can donate so I can go to the Fort Worth brewery and learn why it's powdered sugar. Yeah. So what are you thinking on this, man?
I like it.
You like this one more than the Lambic?
Yeah.
Really? So another thing is, have you noticed the difference in the mouthfeel? You're
Yes.
getting a very full, thick mouthfeel on this one.
And what I'm getting is similar to drinking maybe a cold brew. Just
with a little bit of that, like that Hershey caramel.
yeah, yeah, and it the only one is it tastes darker, you know.
You don't want to let it alone. Like it's a very approachable stout.
It is.
That's a big reason why I chose this one. I've got an Imperial Stout by Samuel Smith. Samuel Smith is another old brewery, not quite as old as the Franz, but I think they're 1703 or something like that. They might have been earlier than that. I don't remember. I want to say it existed before the U.S. existed, so it was something like that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Shout out to Gators Liquor and Knack. They always set me up with the best stuff. Fantastic. Not brought to you by Gators Liquor, but I want to give credit where credit's due. So what do you think, man, out of the three we had today?
Not a super huge fan of the second one, the Vice Beer. Really, really like this one, and I really like the
Lambic?
The Lambic,
Linderman's Lambic. I always forget to call their name. I just call them the Lambic.
But these two were close, the Lambic and this one. Leaning a little more towards this one. But
and that's what I figured. That's why I really wanted to get this one in particular on the show, because I knew you were more of a coffee and kind of a sweet drinker. So I figured that you would really enjoy this, and that's something all of you can take away if you haven't tried any particular stout. This is one you can get into. Don't try Guinness and think that that's how all stouts taste. That's not how it works. There's so much to be said about just fantastic beers. Just because you try one stout and it's bad, just because you try one IPA and it's bad. I am not the biggest fan of IPAs, and just the other day I found the second IPA that I love. So don't be afraid to try it. And at the end of the day, man, I get it. You can get a 15-pack of Keystones for $10. A 6-pack of this is $10. I know what the better deal is. But at the end of the day, man, this ain't never going to taste like a Keystone. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jake, for coming out, man. It's always a pleasure. We're going to have you out again, right?
oh yeah, definitely.
Next time I'm going to make you drink a bunch of IPAs.
Oh god.
With that being said, spirits up.